It's good to have you join us on the program from the National Assembly. I am Itaire Ikben. The legislature is leaving nothing to chance to ensure that the state of emergency rule in Rivers is guided by democratic tenets. This was revealed when the House of Representatives named a 21-member ad hoc committee of lawmakers to oversight the sole administrator in Rivers State. Already we hear that the Reps Oversight Committee, chaired by House Leader Julius Ihombere, has invited the sole administrator of Rivers State, Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas, for an interactive meeting with members of the committee in the House of Representatives. On the program today, we bring you some highlights of the inauguration of the 21-member ad hoc committee of lawmakers to oversight the period of state of emergency in Rivers State, with Speaker Tajuddin Abbas reeling out the rationale for the National Assembly's intervention and the terms of reference of the Oversight Committee. The National Assembly's approval of a state of emergency in Rivers State comes with a constitutional duty enshrined in Section 11, subsection 4 of the Constitution. The Federal Parliament is to make laws for the state, giving the suspension of the State Assembly along with the executive. Speaker Tajuddin Abbas says the terms of reference of the 21-member ad hoc committee revolve around upholding democratic tenets in a non-partisan manner.
It is my privilege to address you on this solemn occasion. Today, the 10th House of Representatives inaugurates an ad hoc committee tasked with overseeing the administration of Rivers State during the present emergency period. This moment marks not only a critical milestone in our constitutional mandate, but also a display of our dedication to transparent governance and the rule of law in our country. On 18th March 2025, the President and Commander-in-Chief, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, declared a 6-month state of emergency in Rivers State. This decisive action was taken out of genuine patriotism and a deep concern for the security and welfare of both the people of Rivers State and our country as a whole. In his address, the President emphasized that his intervention was driven by the imperative to restore peace and to ensure that governance continues unhindered. His declaration was based on the provisions of Section 305 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, and followed careful deliberation in the face of grave crises threatening public order. The President's extraordinary actions were not taken lightly. They reflect a profound sense of duty, a responsibility, and a recognition that when democratic institutions falter, decisive action is necessary to protect the interests of the nation. This same sense of duty underpins our proceedings today. Colleagues, it is instructive to recall past instances where our nation has faced similar challenges. We witnessed state emergencies in Plateau State in 2004 and in Ekiti State in 2006. Similarly, in 2013, President Goodluck Jonathan declared a state of emergency in Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe states after a series of deadly attacks by terrorists and militant groups. In those periods of their security and governance challenges, the National Assembly assumed a vital role in upholding constitutional order. When state institutions were suspended, the intervention of the National Assembly ensured continuity in governance. Our actions today are grounded in Section 11, subsection 4 of the 1999 Constitution, which confers upon us the authority to make laws for any state whose elected legislative body is unable to perform its statutory functions. It states that at any time when any House of Assembly of a state is unable to perform its functions, by reason of the situation prevailing in that state, the National Assembly may take such laws for the peace, order, and good governance of that state, with respect to matters on which a House of Assembly may make laws as may appear to the National Assembly to be necessary or expedient until such a time as the House of Assembly is able to resume its functions. And as such, any laws enacted by the National Assembly pursuant to this section shall have effect as if they were laws enacted by the House of Assembly of that state. Accordingly, in response to Mr. President's declaration and in accordance with our constitutional duty, the official gazette of the state of emergency was duly transmitted to both the House and the Senate on the 20th March 2025. The chambers deliberated extensively and approved the president's request with significant amendments designed to reinforce democratic safeguards and ensure robust oversight. These resolutions were duly forwarded to the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation for implementation. The certified true copies of these will be made available to the committee after this inauguration.
The intervention of the National Assembly in emergency rule in Rivers State serves as yet another litmus test for the legislature to play the vital role of upholding constitutional order. The Oversight Committee is chaired by House Leader Julius Ihonwere, with Minority Whip Ali Issa as deputy. The caretaker administration in Rivers is also requested to seek National Assembly approvals during the period.
It is paramount to note that the current administration in Rivers State is inherently temporary. With the suspension of the state governor, Mr. Siminalayi Fubara, and the entire House of Assembly, a caretaker administration has been installed under the stewardship of Rear Admiral Ibok Ite Ikwe Ibas, retired. His role is strictly circumscribed as he is charged with maintaining law and order and ensuring that the basic functions of governance are met only until full democratic governance is restored. The administrator is required to operate with the highest levels of transparency and accountability, reporting directly to the National Assembly on all matters that pertain to the peace, order, and good governance of the state as prescribed by the Constitution. Today's inauguration of the 21-member ad hoc committee on Rivers State reaffirms our constitutional commitment to transparent governance. Empowered by Section 5 of the State Emergency Rivers State Proclamation 2025 and pursuant to Section 11, subsection 4 of our Constitution, this committee has a clear and non-partisan mandate. Its purpose is to monitor the implementation of the federal directives and policies in Rivers State, ensure that the caretaker administration adheres to the laws and protect the public interest while facilitating the re-establishment of full democratic governance in the state. The sensitivity and gravity of this assignment cannot be overemphasized. The state of emergency in Rivers State has generated widespread interest across the nation, and the eyes of all Nigerians are upon us as they await to see if the National Assembly can live up to the high expectation placed upon it. Therefore, the task before this committee is not routine. It is a mission of national significance that will serve as a litmus test for our commitment to democratic principles and constitutional governance. The importance of the assignment places a considerable burden on the chairman and all members, as every action taken will be subject to national scrutiny. The members of this committee have been selected with meticulous care by the House leadership based on their integrity, experience, and steadfast dedication to the national interest. you have been entrusted with the heavy responsibility of justifying the confidence reposed in you by the entire nation. I charge you, therefore, to approach this assignment with the highest standard of professionalism, impartiality, and diligence. In fulfilling your mandate, you must conduct your oversight in strict accordance with the Constitution and avoid all forms of partisanship or bias. It is imperative that you monitor every aspect of the caretaker administration's conduct, scrutinize public expenditures, and ensure that all federal directives and policies are implemented as intended. Moreover, it is expected that you regularly report your findings to this House in a transparent manner, enabling us to continuously assess the impact of the emergency measures and to take further legislative action if necessary. Beyond mere oversight, your work must actively support efforts to restore lasting peace and re-establish a fully functional democratic system in Rivers State. You are called upon to interface with federal agencies, security institutions, and any reconciliation initiatives that may establish fostering trust among all stakeholders in the process. Let me at this juncture reiterate the sensitive nature of this assignment, combined with the national interest in its successful execution, means that Nigerians will scrutinize every step and action you take. This historic responsibility calls for consensus, forthright, and astute governance that will set a benchmark for oversight functions by the National Assembly in the future. My dear honorable colleagues, the National Assembly's intervention in Rivers State is not an instrument of political vendetta, but a constitutional necessity. It embodies our collective duty to safeguard peace, security, and the rule of law. We act not out of partisan interest, but in the earnest service of a united and prosperous Nigeria. The eyes of all Nigerians are upon us, and it is incumbent upon this House, particularly on the chairman and all members of this esteemed committee, to rise to this historic challenge with courage, integrity, and determination. It is now my solemn duty and distinct honor to officially inaugurate the House Ad hoc Committee to oversight Rivers State. I encourage you to perform your responsibilities with dedication and integrity, worthy of statesmen and women. Thank you, and may God bless Rivers State. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
And that was the inauguration of the 21-member ad hoc committee of lawmakers to oversight the period of state of emergency in Rivers and ensure that democracy still holds sway in the state while it lasts. Moving on, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, in the wake of recent attacks on the plateau, has restated the need for the security forces to nip in the bud challenges of insecurity in parts of the country. The advocacy is continuous as the House, we recall, passed such resolutions before its current recess during the plenary of Wednesday, March 19, 2025. We now bring you details of that plenary.
Who has a matter of urgent public importance to present to the House, may please rise to do so. In saying so, is Honorable Rabiu Gaba Kamba in the House?
I rise to move this motion of urgent public importance on the urgent need to deploy security personnel to curtail killings by Lakurawa terrorist group in Arewa Dandi Federal Constituency of Kebbi State. Mr. Speaker, I come under Order 8 Rule 5 and also create the indulgence of the House to suspend all other relevant rules so as to enable me move this motion. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable.
Enough to be heard in floor of the House. I so second.
Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable.
The House may note with great concern alarming increase in cases of attack and killings on communities and villages by Lakurawa bandits in Arewa local government of Kebbi State, which has led to displacement of many residents and created severe humanitarian crisis in this Ramadan season. Also notes that Lakurawa terrorist group has been operating since last year, 2024, in northern parts of Kebbi State, where over 15 people were killed initially in Augie local government. Disturbed that 2 weeks ago, the same Lakurawa terrorist group killed 6 people in Bagiza and Rausankade and Ransak communities in villages still in Arewa local government. Also disturbed that on Sunday, 16th of March 2025, the same Lakurawa group attacks and set ablaze 6 communities, namely Building Debi, Tunga Daura, Amarke, Amazubi, Tambo, and Garin Nagoro, all in Arewa local governments of Kebbi State. Concerned that the Lakura terrorist group present were also noticed their presence in Maigwaza and Rudimbesa communities and other villages in Dundee local government of Kebbi State also. Worried that these attacks have created so much fear in the rural communities and villages in Arewa local government, resulting into mass movement of people from various communities and villages to Kangiwa, the headquarters of the local government, where RDP camps has been established. The House resolved to urge the security agencies to urgently deploy more security personnel to curtail the menace of this terrorist group in the affected villages. Also, urge the Nigerian Army to establish a forward observation base and operational base in Arewa local government for prompt response to these terrorist incessant invasions. Also urge the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to provide relief materials to the affected communities, villages, and those in RDP camps in Kangiwa, that's in Arewa local government. Also observe a 1-minute silence in honor of those who lost their lives, and also mandate the House committees on Army, Police, NEMA, and the legislative compliance to ensure compliance. Mr. Speaker, I so moved.
I want to find out if Honorable John Mwanwul Dafan, if he's in the House.
I rise this morning to move a motion of urgent public importance. Pursuant to Section Order 8, Rule 5, an urgent need for the federal government to intervene to stop the banditry attacks and kidnapping in Namu and Wal districts of Kwanpan local government area of Plateau State. I so move, Your Excellency.
I rise this morning to second the mission as ably moved by my honorable colleague. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The House notes that the relentless banditry attacks and kidnapping in Namu and Wal districts in Kwanpan local government area of Plateau State have reached catastrophic proportions, necessitating a need for immediate federal intervention as the inhabitants of Namu and Wal have recently been invaded by bandits, killing not less than 8 people and scores seriously injured. And more than 15 people have been kidnapped. Further note that Namu and Wal are agrarian, with 90% of its citizens relying solely on their farm produce as a source of livelihood. Worried that the continued incidents of banditry and kidnapping around Namu and Wal districts axis have adversely affected their performance and their microeconomic activities in the communities and its environs. Also note that the bandits are suspected to be foreign elements going by their physical appearances and mode of communication, and aware that the people who were injured in the avoidable incidents of banditry attacks are hospitalized while so many are rendered homeless. Resolve, Your Excellency, to observe a minute's silence in honor of the deceased and to urge the Chief of Defense Staff, the Inspector General of Police, and other security agencies to deploy additional security personnel to flush out these bandits and restore peace in Namu and Wal communities. Urge the Director General of the Department of State Service and other intelligence agencies to strengthen intelligence network to preempt and respond effectively to attacks and foster collaboration with local communities to identify and address underlying issues fueling banditry. Urge the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs through the National Emergency Management Agency and National Committee for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons to, as a matter of urgency, provide relief materials to the affected communities. Mandate the House Committee on Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance. I so move.
Share his own opinion on this. I yield to you.
Mr. Speaker, it's just by way of adding value to what my brother, Honorable Dafan, put together regarding to his constituency, and to equally, perhaps, the security agencies, if they are listening to us, will understand the strategic situation in Plateau and how Plateau is now being surrounded by bandits and other organizations that are killing people on a daily basis. Sometimes I spoke about Kanam, Panshinkanke. Kanam Wasei, boundaries, Taraba, is a big thick forest that link to that. Namu Shandam Kwanpan, boundary Nasarawa, is another thick forest that culminate into the influx of some of those things. Mr. Speaker, adding security personnel is not enough until and unless a classified operation is conducted to comb the villages, the forests, the thick forests surrounding Garga axis in Kanam local government, surrounding Wasei in Taraba axis, surrounding Namu, that boundary Nasarawa. We are in a terrible situation in Plateau, Mr. Speaker. Let the security agencies help the situation. The bush, the forest, that thick forests that have become a safe haven to bandits, to kidnappers, need to be combed. There should be an intelligent-led security operation that will be able to, reduce the suffocation in those forests so that Plateau people can breathe air. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. When security agencies are doing their job, they should comb those villages that surround Plateau. We are caged by bandits, by kidnappers, by unknown gunmen, and until the right thing is done, Mr. Speaker, we cannot breathe. Plateau people want to breathe, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He supported the proposition of his brother, Honorable John. I just want to put the question. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to Committee on NEMA, Defense Police, as well as National Security and Intelligence, as well as Legislative Compliance Committee of the House.
Mr. Speaker, I come under Order 825 on a motion of urgent public importance on the kidnapping of Obasi Lawson in Okwa East Local Government.
This matter is urgent enough to be heard.
Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Urgent public importance has to do with the kidnapping of Chief Obasi Lawson and escalating insecurity in Abia State. The House notes that the recent alarming incident on March 4, 2025, where the chairman of Board of Trustees of the Petroleum Retailers Outlet Association Owners of Nigeria, Chief Lawson Obasi, was kidnapped by gunmen in Azumini, Okwa East Local Government area of Abia State, along with his driver, his personal aide, and a policeman who were brutally murdered. The House further notes that the abduction occurred around 1900 hours as Chief Lawson's convoy was ambushed by armed assailants in dark blue Sienna vehicle, leading to the tragic death of his driver and one other individual. Observes that this incident is not isolated, as in December 2024, another citizen was strayed from Akwa Ibom to Okwa East in Abia State and kidnapped under similar circumstances. The House is concerned that the rising incidents of violent kidnapping in Okwa East have instilled fear among residents, disrupted economic activities, and undermined public confidence in security agencies. Aware that despite the efforts of Abia State Police Command, including immediate deployment of tactical teams, the perpetrators of these heinous crimes remain at large, posing an ongoing threat to public safety. The House commends the swift response of the Commissioner of Police Danlade Issa, and his team for activating intensive patrols and urging the public to report any suspicious activity, including individuals with gunshot wounds or sighting of suspect's vehicle. The House resolves to urge the Inspector General of Police to intensify security operations in Okwa East and neighboring areas, deploy additional tactical units, and reinforcing local police stations with advanced surveillance equipment. The House called on the National Security Advisor to coordinate with state and local security agencies to develop a comprehensive strategy for combating organized crimes and preventing further abductions in the region. The House mandates the House Committee on Police Affairs to conduct an urgent fact-finding mission in Okwa East, engage with affected communities, and recommend legislative measures to strengthen security infrastructure. And finally, the House should observe a minute silence in honor of the individuals who lost their lives in the March 4 attack, while extending heartfelt condolences to their families and expressing solidarity with the abducted victims and loved ones. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to Committee on Police, National Security and Intelligence, and House Committee on Legislative Compliance. Shall we rise for 1 minute silence? May the soul of the departed rest in perfect peace. The first business of the day is a motion on admittance into the chamber. The Honorable Richard Ngade Kun, Speaker, House of Representatives of Liberia. Honorable Neka E. Gaye, Chairman, Committee on Foreign Affairs. Honorable Fode E. Fabule, Chairman, Committee on Foreign Affairs. Chairman, Committee on Investment and Commission. Honorable Samson Ware. Chairman, Committee on Maritime of the House of Representatives of Liberia. And Madam Magdala Cooper, Senior Political Advisor to the President of the Republic of Liberia, for the purpose of observing the House proceedings. And this is standing in the name of Honorable Julius Ihumbre, House Leader. Honorable Ihumbre is invited to move the motion.
I rise to move that the House, pursuant to Order 6, Rule 4, 1 and 2 of the Standing Orders of the House of Representatives, do admit into the chamber the Honorable Richard Ngade Kun, Speaker, House of Representatives of Liberia, Honorable Neka Igaye, Chairman, Committee on Foreign Affairs, Honorable Fode E. Fambule, Chairman, Committee on Investment and Commission, Honorable Samson Ware, Co-Chair, Committee on Maritime of the House of Representatives of Liberia, and Madam Magdala Cooper, Senior Political Advisor to the President of the Republic of Liberia, for the purpose of observing the House proceedings. I so move.
Rise to second the motion that the House do give consent under Order 6, Rule 4 of the House Rules to allow our colleagues from Liberia have access to the chambers of the House. I so second.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, 6 Alteration Bill 2025, first reading. Occupational Safety and Health Bill 2025, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, 6 Alteration Bill 2025, first reading. Digital Health Services Establishment Bill 2025, first reading. Federal Medical Centers Act Amendment Bill 2025, first reading. Transparency and Accountability in Public Service Establishment Bill 2025, first reading. Bureau for Insurance of Government Asset Establishment Bill 2025, first reading. Ride-Hailing and Smart Mobility Bill 2025, first reading. Witness Protection and Management Bill 2025, first reading. Climate Resilient Commerce Bill 2025, first reading. National Skill Cell Institution Establishment Bill 2025, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1990, first reading. National Rights Agriculture 25, first reading. National Security and Community Policing Bill 2025, first reading. Public Health Insurance and Enhancement Bill 2025, first reading. National Youth Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Establishment Bill 2025, first reading. Psychotherapeutic and Counseling Research Institute Bill 2025, first reading.
I was reading for the first time those bills, 18 bills. Our brothers and our friends from Liberia, the Speaker of the Parliament of Liberia and his entourage took a bow and are about having their seat. We welcome you to the Parliament. We are happy to have you here, and I'm sure we'll share a lot of experiences together to help in the Pan-African spirit of building the legislature, the fulcrum of democracy in Africa that will make Africa stronger. You are welcome to the Parliament, and you are free to observe our proceedings. Most distinguished colleagues, the third business of the day is presentation of reports of the Committee on Third Fund and Other Services on a bill for an act to amend Tertiary Education Trust Fund Act 2011 to provide for additional conditions for addressing the funds for capital projects by beneficiary institutions and for related matters. And this is standing in the name of Honorable Miriam Obinaka Onoha. Honorable members will recall that the bill was referred to the committee on Wednesday, 27th November 2024. The report is ready for presentation. Honorable Onoha is invited to present the report. Honorable Onoha, the floor is yours.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution, Section 58 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which provides for modes of exercising federal legislative powers by way of lawmaking, and Order 18, Rule 11 of the House Order, a subsidiary legislation on report of committees. I rise this morning to move that this House do receive the report of the Committee on TED Fund and Other Services on a bill for an act to amend the Tertiary Education Trust Fund Act 2011 to provide for additional conditions for assessing the fund for capital projects for beneficiary institutions and for related matters, HB 02. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I seek the leave of Mr. Speaker to lay this report in accordance with our rules. I so do.
Honorable Kelechi Nwogo.
I rise to second the motion moved by my colleague. I so second.
In support of this motion, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Princess Onoha, the leave is hereby granted. You may now lay your report. Most distinguished colleagues, the second order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to domesticate the Domestic Workers' Bill of Rights in Nigeria, establishing minimum employment standard, ensuring the protection and welfare of domestic workers, and for related matters. Standing in the name of Honorable Akin Alabi, honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 9th October 2024. And I invite Honorable Alabi, my friend, to move that the bill be now read the second time.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that the bill for an act to domesticate the Domestic Workers' Bill of Rights in Nigeria, establishing minimum employment standards, ensuring the protection and welfare of domestic workers, and for related matters be read a second time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so move.
I rise to second the motion ably moved by my colleague that bill should be read a second time. Mr. Speaker, I so second. Thank you.
And those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The floor is now yours, Honorable Akin Alabi, to do justice to your proposition.
Mr. Speaker, the aim of this bill is straightforward, and it's just to set labor standards for domestic workers. And when I say domestic workers, I'm referring to our maids, probably nannies, cleaners, gardeners, gatemen, you know what I mean. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I want us to look at this bill from two perspectives. I want us to look at it from, one, as a legislative responsibility, and secondly, as a moral responsibility. I'll start with the legislative responsibility. Mr. Speaker, in 2011, Nigeria signed a treaty at the International Labour Organization in Geneva. We signed a treaty to enforce and ensure labor standards for domestic workers. But since then, it has not been domesticated. And for those of us that understand international relations, we know that Nigeria is a dualist state, which means that if we sign a treaty, before it can be enforced in Nigeria, an act has to be passed by this parliament. That is clearly enshrined in Section 12 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. It would be fantastic, Mr. Speaker, if this assembly, the 10th assembly, can be the parliament, can be the house that eventually passes this into law. From the moral perspective, Mr. Speaker, this is big 2025, but a lot is still happening. Things that are happening by the so-called ogas and madams in various homes all across the country is similar to slave trade. Dehumanizing acts carried on, perpetrated, and these domestic workers, a lot of them living in what we can call modern-day slavery. Mr. Speaker, this should not be happening in this time and age at all. And I want us to ensure that we be the parliament to pass a bill that will ensure that there's a minimum standard of working conditions and living for our domestic workers. Now, we're still in the second reading. We're talking about the general principles. We can't go into how much should they earn, how many hours should they work. When we get to the public hearing, when we get to the committee of the whole, we're going to discuss all that. But now, the question is, do we want a better working conditions for our domestic workers? Personally, yes, and I believe honorable colleagues will agree with me. So I urge this House to let this bill go for the second reading and further legislative action as so submitted, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
It appears it's a subject many people are interested in. Let me yield the floor to Jonathan, Honorable Jonathan.
It's very particular and indeed extremely important, especially for a country like Nigeria and Black Africa, where culture can at times conflict with law. In our culture, most of our cultures, especially considering where we come from, children at times are seen as a means of labor when you spoke about going to the farm, deploying them to farms, and actually having chores done. And most of the time, because of our way of thinking and our orientations coming from where we're coming from, we'll find out that there are tendencies where we might more be guided by culture instead of by law. And by so doing, you'll find out that at times the rights of these children or the rights of these domestic workers are actually extremely abused. Mr. Speaker, there is no better time than now to set the record straight for us to be able to embrace global best practice, but still with the tint of what our culture says, so that we do not lose the core of our fabric that makes us who we are as Nigerians and as Africans, but at the same time know that there is dignity in every life that the Almighty God created. So to this end, I wholeheartedly support the bill as ably moved by my colleague. I so support.
He did a good job by laying the foundation. And these have been supported very well by another erudite scholar and member of this particular parliament. I'll just put the question. Those in support of this motion, say aye. Those against the motion, say nay. The ayes have it. Let me mention that when the parliament empathizes with the people, it shows that we are highlighting the dignity of humanity. And empathy should not be restricted to the people who are of the upper class. Those downtrodden ones who are serving us, they deserve to be respected. And I'm sure by the time the parliament is done with this bill, the right of the commoners on the street who has no voice will be given a voice. Thank you for presenting this bill.
A bill for an act to domesticate the Domestic Workers' Bill of Rights in Nigeria, establishing minimum employment standards, ensuring the protection and welfare of domestic workers and for related matters. Second reading.
Most distinguished colleagues, the third order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to amend the Federal Colleges of Education Act, Cap F8, Laws of Federation of Nigeria, 2004. To establish Federal College of Education Technical, Lafiagi, Kwara State, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Ahmed Adam Saba. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 22nd November, 2024, standing in the name of Honorable Rufus Ujuawo Adeni and three others. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 28th November, 2024. And I invite Honorable Adeni to move that the bill be now read the second time.
All right, this morning, on behalf of the other three co-sponsors of this bill, that's Right Honorable Jimmy Benson, Right Honorable Yusuf Gadi, and Right Honorable Asan Rurum, to move the motion that a bill for an act to amend the Armed Forces Act, Cap A20, Law of Federation of Nigeria 20, 2004, and for related matters, HB 1949, be read the second time. I so move.
The bill have been, motion have been moved and this has been seconded. Let me ask the question. Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The floor is now yours to give us a synopsis of the bill. Make the debate as brief as possible.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I thank you all for the honor and privilege for me to lead the debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to amend the Nigerian Armed Forces Act 2024 to enable appropriate provision to be made for unified command structure of the Nigerian forces under a democratic leadership. Kindly refer to the House proceeding of 3rd December 2024 when the bill was read.
Please speak into the mic. What is happening to the mic? We need to hear him.
Okay, sir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Proceeding of 3rd of December 2024 when the bill was read for the first time in this solo chamber. The bill is aimed to amend Part 1 to 10 of the Act and added a subsection of the terms and conditions of service to make the military force more efficient and effective in service delivery through deliberate jointness in operational acts. Mr. Speaker, my esteemed colleagues, the objective of this bill is to restructure the Nigerian military force, ease and streamline each under a single command structure. This entails bringing together the monolithic stand-alone system, whereby each services has a separate structure under different commanders, pursuing separate goals in the drive to secure the country. In times of crisis, getting these different units to synchronize and work together smoothly become quite sticky. A glaring example of this current is the current theater of war at the Northeast region. It is now common knowledge that on several occasions, the Nigerian military do not achieve the stated objective owing to inability of different arms to work together in sync and conduct a joint operation smoothly. Like we have languages such as we have technically defeated or we have defeated the bandits. You need to agree with me that unifying the command structure will eliminate these differences and thereby lead to greater efficiency and more robust, effective operations that will enhance our collective security as a nation. Mr. Speaker, sir, my highly esteemed colleagues, the experience of the Nigerian military has exposed the need to increase the synergy between various arms of the military through the institution of a single line of communication and single chain of command. This will promote the services training and practicing together in peacetime that will translate to better synergy and shall greatly improve the effectiveness of our military in war. It will also enable the effectiveness implementation of policies designed to utilize the military as a major source of national power and security. The concept of a chain of command requires that commanders we have under its several commands manned by officers who are also have under them other officers who are answerable to them. And this system continues to the lowest levels. What we have in the Nigerian military today...
I requested for synopsis.
Yes, sir.
I requested for synopsis.
The synopsis, like I said, sir, they are from part 1 to 10.
So summarize.
Okay, that's what, thank you, Mr. Speaker, I'm trying to do that. Part 1 to 10, and then a clause added. So, what we have, like I said, what we have today is different arms of services, the different chain of command, which makes it unworthy and synergy difficult, and in critical time, increase in emergency response time. What this bill seeks to introduce will bring Nigeria in line with international best practices by introducing a single chain of command that brings the various arms of Nigerian military together under a single chain of command, with the different arms contributing personnel to the command that will be answerable to the unified commander structure. This way, the response time in emergency will be lengthened quick, and synergy automated. My honorable speaker, sir, My honorable and highly esteemed colleagues, permit me to conclude the presentation by reiterating the boarding imperative need to streamline and unify the Nigerian military into a single chain of command for ease of operational control and effectiveness. The passage into law of this bill will ensure the efficiency and effectiveness of Nigerian military and tremendously increase their ability to meet the security need of our great country. Thanks for your attention and consideration. The synopses are already in the bill, sir. I didn't want to bore with the synopsis today because I know we're going to be able to discuss it during the public hearing. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so move.
Motion that this bill be read a second time, say aye. Those against, say nay.
Mr. Speaker, I must commend the mover of this bill. It's a bill that brings Nigerian armed forces in conformity with international best practice. Mr. Speaker, you recall that even America at some point had challenges. During the Iraqi war, they had problems of synergy. It was the parliament that came, two distinguished senators, Senator Nicole and Goodman. They passed a bill called the Goldman-Nichols Law, which mandated a fusion of the armed forces when it comes to operations. For instance, in America, before the bill was passed, they were confused as to who will lead operations. But after the bill was passed, there was mandation for joint services. So, for instance, if the battle was water-related, they will fuse the Army, the Navy, and the leader of the operation will be the naval personnel. So this is what the lawmakers, AVM, is trying to seek to do. And we support it. We think it's a step in the right direction.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Those in favor of this, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. The clerk is invited to read the long title of the bill. Clerk, please.
The Armed Forces Act, Cap 820, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria and for related matters, second reading.
Thank you, Clerk. This bill is referred to Committee on Defense. The fifth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to amend the Federal University of Technology Act, Cap F23, Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004, and establish Federal University of Technology, Korabasi, Akwa Ibom State, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Oduak Alphonsus Odudua. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 10th December 2024. While I invite Honorable Odudua to move that the bill be read the second time, my record shows that that bill was limited to Korabasi, Akwa Ibom, not Bubura, Jigawa State, so that you confirm that when you are leading. The floor is now yours.
Mr. Speaker, I rise this moment to move a motion that a bill for an act to establish the Federal University of Technology, Federal University of Technology Act, Cap F23, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2024, and establish Federal Universities of Technology, Ikotabasi, Akwa Ibom State, be read the second time.
I stand to second the bill to be read for the second time, heavily moved by my colleague. Thank you.
Of this motion, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. The floor is now yours, Honorable. Make it as brief as possible, please.
Speaker, once again, I am Oduak Alphonsus Odudua, speaking for the people of Ikorabasi, Bahrain and Eastern Obo Federal Constituency. I'm from Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the general principle of this bill is about this House to do the needful to give the Federal University of Technology, Korabasi, a legal status. Mr. Speaker, 3 years ago, the immediate past president of this nation graciously approved the establishment of Federal University of Technology, Korabasi. And it will only be wise and proper if at the end of the day, the school is given a legal status so that they can also benefit what other schools that are legally recognized in this country are benefiting. And so that is the general principle of this bill, Mr.
Thank you very much. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The clerk is invited to read the long title of the bill.
A bill for an act to amend the Federal Universities of Technology Act F23, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and establish Federal Universities of Technology, Ikot Abasi, Akwa Ibom State, and Babura Jigawa State 2004, and for related matters. Second reading.
Thank you, Clerk. This bill is referred to Committee on University Education. My respected colleagues, the sixth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to amend the Federal Colleges of Education Act CAP F8, Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004, to establish Federal College of Education Onitsha, Olonu, Delta State, and for related matters. Standing in the name of Honorable Ngozi Lawrence Okolie, honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time Tuesday, 18 February 2025, and I invite Honorable Collier to move that the bill be now read the second time. Honorable Collier.
I rise this morning to move that the bill for an act to amend the Federal College of Education Act CAP F8, Laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 2004, to establish Federal College of Education Onitsha Olona, Delta State, and for related matters be read the second time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Any seconder?
I rise to second this very important bill for the establishment of the College of Education, ably moved by Honorable Ngozi. I so second.
The motion has been moved and this has been seconded, and this is an establishment bill. So I'll just put the question. Those in support that this bill be read the second time, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk.
A bill for an act to amend the Federal Colleges of Education Act F8, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to establish Federal College of Education Onitsha Olonu, Delta State, and for related matters. Second reading.
Most distinguished colleagues, the 10th order of the day is a motion on investigation on the use of conditional cash transfer funds. Standing in the name of Honorable Abbas Adigun, Robert Adigun is invited to move the motion.
So today I'm here to move the motion on the need to investigate the use of the conditional cash transfer fund. Please note that the federal government of Nigeria, in partnership with the World Bank, developed a social safety net program for the Nigeria in September 2016. The National Cash Transfer Office is responsible for the implementation of the household uplifting program conditional cash transfer that cater for the poor and vulnerable households across the country. Aware that the program was conceived as part of the federal government larger growth and social inclusion, studies to aim at addressing the key social concerns in the country. Cognizant that in order to ensure effective and efficient delivery of this program, in August 2024, nominees for the program were involved that they will be paid the sum of 50,000 naira each for 3 months.
Honorable Faleke, please approach the chair. Honorable Faleke.
The detail of this nominee were filled online in the portal dedicated for the program and thereafter submitted to the National Cash Transfer Office. Also cognizant that the payment was to be made directly to the nominee bank account nationwide and was aimed at cushioning the effect of the economic hardship of the nominee, who are mostly poor and vulnerable. Worried that months after the detail of these nominees has been filed and sent, nothing has been heard from the National Cash Transfer Office as regard payment to this nominee of this program. Resolve to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the reason for the delay in making payment to the nominee of the Household Upliftment Program, conditional cash transfer of this federal government of Nigeria, and report back to the House within 4 weeks. I so move, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Mr. Speaker, as good as this motion sounds, I believe it has been established on the floor of this House that as long as there's a standing committee that is capable of investigating matters that they have a mandate over, that committee should be allowed to do their work. I haven't said that, Mr. Speaker. These prayers, the ad hoc should be deleted and let the standing committee on poverty alleviation, do their work. So it should be, this should go to the committee on poverty alleviation to investigate the delay in the payments to other nominees of the Household Upliftment Program, conditional cash transfer, or the federal government of Nigeria, and report within 4 weeks for further legislative action so that we avoid duplication of duties. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder to that amendment? Any seconder? Behind Billy, let's hear from Hart. Are you seconding? Please put off your microphone, Doctor from Cross River.
Arise to second this lofty amendment by Chief Billy, Honorable. I still second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of the motion as amended. Any other amendment? Yes, please.
Yes.
Chairman Power, please.
Let me start by appreciating the mover of the motion. But my amendment to it is that it all borders on something of humanitarian committee. Therefore, I'm of the opinion that we should do away with the ad hoc committee and refer the matter to the humanitarian committee to chair alongside with poverty alleviation. So I so moved.
Okay, there is an amendment to the poverty alleviation has been approved to be there, but humanitarian also supposed to be there because the subject matter affects humanitarian, Committee on Humanitarian Services. Any seconder to that motion of amendment? Any seconder? Yes, sir.
Mr. Speaker, I rise this afternoon to second the motion ably moved by honorable colleagues. I so second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of the motion as amended, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to Committee on Poverty Alleviation and Committee on Humanitarian Affairs. Before I go to the next order of the day, it's important to note that we have had in our audience the colleagues of ours from Liberia, from the Speaker to the chairman of committees who came to observe proceedings. They will be leaving any moment from now to visit the library, the National Assembly Library. But it is worth mentioning that we recognize them now that they are well seated. So I will call them one after the other. They stand for recognition. Having traveled all the way from Liberia before we go into our in-house deliberation during their courtesy visit, it is important for Nigerians to see you and also for Liberia to know that you actually got to the parliament, that you didn't sneak in, that we recognize you fully. So let me mention in no particular order in the order that have been laid before me here, the Honorable Richard Ngade Kun, Speaker, House of Representatives of Liberia. Yeah, you may have your seat. And then we also have Honorable Neka Igaye, Chairman, Committee on Foreign Affairs. We also have Honorable Fode E. Fambule, Chairman, Committee on Investment and Commission. Honorable Samson Ware, Co-Chairman, Committee on Maritime of the House of Representatives. And Madam Magdala Cooper, Senior Political Advisor to the President of the Federal Republic of Liberia. Thank you very much for joining us today. We are glad to have you. We will reciprocate. We'll make sure we visit your parliament so that this interaction will be sustained over a period of time, and we encourage all African parliaments to visit each other
so that we'll build a bond that will help us make Africa better as we advance our democracy. Thank you very much, and we hope to see you later in the day. Thank you, and God bless you. The 11th order of the day is a motion on the need to restore the 12 suppressed state constituencies in Kogi, State by the Independent National Electoral Commission, standing in the name of Honorable Salman Idris and 8 others. Honorable members, Honorable Salman is invited to move the motion. Thank
The House
you.
notes that Section 112 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, vested in the Independent National Electoral Commission the power to divide every state in the Federation into such a number of state constituencies within the state. The House also notes that Section 91 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, provides that a House of Assembly of a state shall consist of 3 or 4 times the number of seats that states have in the House of Representatives, divided in a way to reflect, as far as possible, nearly equal population. The House further notes that Section 114, subsection 1, provides for periodic review of state constituencies not less than 10 years and may alter such constituencies to such an extent as it may be desirable in the light of the review. The House is aware that the gubernatorial and state assembly elections that were held on 14 December 1991 in Kogi State had 32 state constituencies in which elections were duly conducted and winners declared. The House is also aware that Kogi State, which has 9 seats in the House of Representatives, is supposed to have at least 27 or 36 House of Assembly seats as provided for in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended. Cognizant that the last review of state constituencies in Nigeria by INEC was in 1998, which resulted in the suppression of some constituencies in the Kogi State House of Assembly seats. The House is concerned that from 1998 to date, the Independent National Electoral Commission has continued to suppress the Kogi State House of Assembly seats in constituencies such as Kababonu 2, Ijumu 2, Kotokarfi 1, Yagba West 2, Adavi 2, Ife Ogbodu, Igala Ogba, Okura, Enjema, Dekina Town, Olamaboro 2, and Basange Bira. The House is worried that the essence of participatory
Honorable Jimmy,
democracy
please approach the chair.
is to ensure inclusive governance aimed at bringing a balanced development through quality representation. Kogi State has remained underrepresented as a result of this unconstitutional gross suppression of the number of seats in the Kogi State House of Assembly. The House is also worried that the Independent National Electoral Commission has continued to act in ultra vires due to the exclusion of the above-mentioned constituencies. The House is convinced that the restoration of the suppressed constituencies in the Kogi State will further deepen our democracy in terms of quality representation and grassroots development and promote equality. The House do resolves to urge the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to restore Kababunu 2, Ijumu 2, Kotokarfi 1, Yagba West 1, Adavi 2, Ife Ogbolu, Igala Ogba, Okura, Enjema, Dekina Town, Olamaboro 2, and Basange Bira State constituencies, and to mandate the Committee on Electoral Matters to interface with the Chairman, Independent National Electoral Commission on the matter and report within 4 weeks for further legislative action.
Mr. Speaker, I so second.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to Committee on Electoral Matters. The 12th order of the day is a motion on the need to support security agencies in the Federal Capital Territory with patrol vehicles and gadgets to enhance security services within the FCT, standing in the name of Honorable Joshua Chinedu Obika. Honorable Obika is invited to move the motion.
Needs to support the security agencies in the Federal Capital Territory with patrol vehicles and gadgets to enhance the security services within the FCT. The House notes that there have been increasing security challenges in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, which is capital of Nigeria, hosting the heads of executive, legislature, judiciary, and the diplomats, as well as their aides and family members. Aware that Section 14(2)(b) of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 99, as amended, declare the provision of security and welfare of the people as the primary purpose of government. Also aware that Section 299A of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 99, as amended, vested legislative powers of the FCT in the National Assembly, which calls for passionate appeal for intervention by the House to support the provision of adequate security services within the FCT and makes intervention by the House to support the provision of the adequate security services in FCT. Disturbed that the 2024 scorecard of the FCT Police Command showed 1,077 suspected criminals were arrested within the FCT out of 1,426 cases reported, with 140 lives of police officers lost in the duty. Worried that recently the FCT Police Command has identified about 17 criminal black spots in the FCT, which includes Diplomatic Zone, the PDP Secretariat, Gwarimpa, Angwatifi, Mpape, Mabushi, and Maitama. Also worried that the lack of adequate security patrol vehicles and gadgets in the criminal black spots within the FCT has led to an increase armed robbery, targeted attacks, assassinations, kidnapping, and terrorism. Resolved to urge the Office of the National Security Advisor to support the security agencies in the Federal Capital Territory with patrol vehicles and security gadgets to enhance the provision of adequate security services within the Federal Capital Territory. Also mandates the Committee on the National Security Intelligence to ensure compliance. I so submit, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder to that motion?
I rise to second the motion, rightly moved by my colleague. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
This motion is referred to Committee on National Security and Intelligence. Most respected colleagues, the 13th order of the day is a motion on the restoration of suppressed Sapele 2, State Assembly Constituency of Delta State, standing in the name of Honorable Benedict Etanabene. Honorable Etanabene is invited to move the motion.
Mr. Speaker, my motion is on the restoration of Sapele 2, State Assembly Constituency in Delta State. The House notes that in 1991, the defunct National Electoral Commission of Nigeria, NECON, delineated Delta State into 38 State Assembly constituency in line with sections 85, 104, 105, 106, and 107 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1979, please, which was imperial material with sections 91, 112, 113, 114, and 115 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. Also notes that during the 1991 general elections, elections were conducted in those 38 State Assembly constituencies, including Sapele 2 State Assembly constituency, which was then represented in the Delta State House of Assembly by Honorable Ayama Agbache. Though their tenure was short-lived, those State Assembly constituency delineation arrangement operated until 1998. Further notes that upon the establishment of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in 1998, which replaces National Electoral Commission of Nigeria, NECON, the Independent National Electoral Commission suppressed some State Assembly constituency, Sapele 2 State Assembly constituency was one of them. Aware that in 2013, the people of Sapele 2 State Assembly constituency, ably represented by Dr. Olorogu Ebenezer Okorodudu, Honorable Jerry.
You may need to abridge this presentation.
Okay.
Since it's on notice and we have all the details in the paper.
Okay.
So that you can go to it's well written, but you have to abridge it and go to the prayer.
Okay.
It's on notice, so it's already out there.
Okay, but Mr. Speaker, I want to re-emphasize what the court.
One or two paragraphs.
Yes. Further aware that in preparation of the 2019 general election, the same plaintiffs filed a mandamus proceedings in suit FHC stroke WRO stroke CS stroke 114 2018. These same plaintiffs approached the court and Justice Nwete, allying the application, stated as follows: I hereby make an order of mandamus compelling the defendant respondents jointly and severally to perform their legal duty to conduct election in the restored Sapele 2 State Assembly constituency for the purpose of electing a representative of the people of the constituency into the Delta State House of Assembly in the next election in the country from the date of this judgment. Mr. Speaker, cognizance of the fact that the combined effect of all these sections, INEC to date has not in the 2019 election, nor in the 2023 election. Mr. Speaker, concerned that the continued refusal by the Independent National Electoral Commission to obey the court judgment that restored Sapele 2 State Assembly constituency undermines the rule of law, and a continued denial of the people of Sapele 2. Mr. Speaker, can you protect me against all those who are not presiding over this?
My brother, you are protected.
Thank you.
You are protected. Don't mind them. But
so
do and go to the prayer. You are protected.
So the House resolves urge the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to, as a matter of urgency, restore Sapele 2 State Assembly constituency of Delta State to comply with the judgment of the Federal High Court and the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. Mandate the Committee on Electoral Matters to ensure compliance. Mr. Speaker, thank you for your kind gesture and protection. I so move.
Any seconder to this motion? You've been raising your hands so long. My brother, Mwaj. Yes, go ahead.
I so second.
Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to Committee on Electoral Matters and Legislative Compliance. The 14th order of the day is a motion on the need for National Assembly Service Commission to recognize and utilize Federal University's diploma certificate from 2000 to date, standing in the name of Honorable Muhammad Danaba Shehu. Honorable Shehu, invited to move the motion.
I stand to read the need for the National Assembly Service Commission to recognize and utilize the Federal University Diploma Certificate from 2000 to date. Note that the education is a critical sector necessary for human transformative development, enhancing manpower growth, especially in developing countries like Nigeria. Aware that despite the educational challenges, the occasionally hardworking staff of the National Assembly Services constantly strive for improvement in public services delivery by obtaining diploma certificate, requiring appreciation and acceptance for upgrading profile, placement, promotion, conversion, and advancement. Worry that the staff who obtained Federal University Diploma Certificate from 2000 to 2010 have attended a wide range of courses like Diploma in Public Administration, Law, English, Parliamentary Administration, Legislative Studies, Business Administration, Economic, Public Relations, Sociology, Banking and Finance, Auditing and Political Science, and other social science, which are required in the Parliament in the West with the world-class standard. Also worries that National Assembly Service Commission refusal to accept the Federal University Diploma Certificate in hindering staff productivity, service delivery, creativity, and job satisfaction, which require legislative intervention. Cognizant of the need for the National Assembly Service Commission to immediately commence the acceptance and utilization of the Federal University Diploma Certificate of the aforementioned courses from 2000 to date without further delay to encourage the parliamentary productivity. Convinced that if the Federal University Diploma Certificate are recognized, it will encourage and motivate the affected staff to improve their legislative productivity and service delivery in the National Assembly, while encouraging them to advance educationally. Resolve, mandate the Committee of Public Service Matters to invite the Chairman, National Assembly Service Commission, and the Commissioners to deliberate on the non-acceptance and utilization of ascertain the delay in accepting and utilizing Federal University Diploma Certificate in the National Assembly Service Commission. Also, mandate the National Assembly Service Commission to immediately commence the acceptance and utilization of the Federal University Diploma's Statement of Result Certificate for the upgrading, proper placement, conversion, promotion, and advancement, and upgrade the affected staff who study and obtain the aforementioned Federal University Diploma Certificate from 2000 to date for better service delivery. Further, mandate the Committee on Public Service Matters and Legislative Compliance is to ensure compliance and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I stand to second the motion heavily presented by my colleague Daba Shehu Gurka. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
First is that many of these courses established by many universities are not accredited as proper diploma certificates. They are set up to make money from the general public that is unaware of what they were doing. That's number one. Number two, the courses they go for are courses that ordinarily, even with a diploma, a so-called diploma from a university, would not prepare them to engage in the kind of issue that a diploma from a polytechnic or a college of education would do. So I think this is important because people are affected. But the prayer should include the House Committee on Polytechnics and Colleges of Education, since they cover that jurisdiction, of the quality of that course, and also to also bring in and invite the National Board for Technical Education, that is technically in charge and responsible.
So you're making an amendment?
Well, but,
you know, have you seen second to the last paragraph before the prayer?
Yes.
He referred to this as Federal University Diploma Certificate. So it's not any diploma certificate, well, only the one issued by federal universities.
For a certain period.
Yes, for a certain period. He's not saying that like they make money, you know, they just set up.
My concern, first of all, is that we owe the public a responsibility of care. Essentially, that you can't just go into any university and pick up a diploma and expect the National Assembly Service Commission to accept it, particularly when they have not been accredited to offer those certificates. But if it is a set of relevant committees of the House to work with the House Committee on Public Service Matters to see why the National Assembly Service Commission is taking that position.
Rather than limit it to the Public Service Matters and Legislative Compliance Committee, that we should widen the joint committee sitting that will investigate this and include the relevant committees of the House that has the mandate to look into institutions offering diploma certificates in the country. It's a motion that he has made. Any seconder to that motion, to that amendment?
I rise to second the motion, ably moved by my brother. Thank you, sir.
Those against say name. The ayes have it. There's another thing I noticed there in the prayers. I don't know if any of you noticed it. He's asking the National Assembly Commission to immediately commence accepting the certificate, while at the same time asking that the committee should investigate it. So it's like, which one should come first? I think what should come first is that investigation should go first before the immediate the instruction for immediate compliance. So, can somebody, Honorable Fred, over to you.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that the first prayer mandate the Committee on Public Service Matters to invite Chairman, National Assembly Service Commission and the Commissioner to deliberate on unacceptability, certain delay in accepting and utilizing federal university diplomatic certificates in National Assembly Service Commission. Further, that prayer be deleted. I so move. Sorry, prayer 2. Prayer 2 also mandate the National Assembly Service Committee immediately commence the acceptance and utilization of federal universities diploma statement of results, certificates for upgrading, proper placement, conversion, promotion, advancement, and upgrade the affected staff who studied and obtained the aforementioned federal universities diploma certificates from 2000 to date for better service delivery be deleted. I so move.
I wish to second that prayers 1 and 2 be deleted. So prayer 2 be deleted.
Thank you. I remember.
So that we just have prayers 1 and 3, which becomes prayer 2 now. I so second.
Those in support of the motion as amended, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. So this motion is referred to Committee on Public Service Matters, as well as all the relevant committees of the House with regards to institutions issuing diploma certificates and legislative compliance.
And those were highlights of the House plenary of Wednesday, March 19, 2025. With that, we come to the end of the program today. Join us again next week for another episode. I am Mitaire Ikben. Stay patriotic and enjoy the season. Bye for now.